Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our moderator for this session. Please put hands together for Ganesh Vudutha, co-founder and CEO, Edomotics, to kindly join us here. The topic for this panel discussion, ladies and gentlemen, is Brains of the Home, choosing the right automation platform. Ladies and gentlemen, may we please welcome our distinguished panelists here. Dhanraj, Sheth, CEO, Uniser SmartSpaces. Ashish, Tijare, Director and CEO, Intelligible Tech Solutions. Jayaprakash, Chinnamuthu, Director, Residential and Strategic Initiatives, Crestron, India. Thank you very much. Over to our moderator, Ganesh Vudutha, please. Thank you.
Hello. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Welcome all to the Smart Home Expo. This is the first panel discussion that we are having on stage, and I'm really honored to be a part of the panel discussion and moderate the discussion. So let's dive into it. Yeah, so the topic of the discussion is brains of the home. So let's take it in a way that we ease into the discussion and not dive into it. So I would like to open the platform for first actually discussing or putting your thought forward. What exactly does a brain of the home mean in a smart home context? Dhanraj, you want to go?
Thanks, Ganesh, and hi everybody. Great to be here with a distinguished set of professionals. It's a very interesting topic that we've selected, and for me specifically, brain of the home, brain of the automation system is something that is able to very seamlessly talk, communicate multi-brand, multi-devices, multi-protocols. For me and us, an automation system has to be more of a user experience rather than simply depend upon a particular piece of hardware. In fact, I would like to tell all of us over here, and I'm sure my fellow panelists will agree, is that whenever we are getting a space done, the first thing we need to do is get a professional system integrator on board who can take us through understanding what the user's experience wants to be and then peg it to what system would best be able to support that. Yeah, Ashish?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, but coming back to your question, the brain of the system. So if you're looking for a system like Crestron, for example, where you have a processor-based automation system, okay, so the brain is automatically created in form of a control processor or a controller, whatever you want to call it. That's where the entire programming goes into the picture. However, if you come back to something like a KNX or any other automation system, then you need a third-party control processor over it. I think that basically forms because the brain of the system is something which will talk to the entire home, and that will also talk to the end user. And that's where I feel what the user interacts with is the brain of the system. So it could be in a form of a control processor, or it could be in form of a simple user interface. So that's where the brain lies.
Got it. JP?
I think both of you summarized most of the points that are there. The brain of a home is a central control which really can communicate with all the parts of, like how in a human body it interacts with all the limbs and eyes and ears and things like that, and bringing all that together and making them work together. So you see something, you want to pick something, your hand works automatically. Similar to that, the brain of a home is the central control that can integrate all the different subsystems in a home and then bring it together and make all of them work together. Sometimes it could be interacting with the end customer, or sometimes it could be interacting between devices as well. So.
Sure. Very well put, JP. Yeah.
Just on a lighter note, the brain of the system also lies with the system integrator.
Yeah. Yes.
Because it's all about what he's thinking,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, very well put, JP. I think you really captured the essence of the discussion. So it naturally navigates into the next question, which is basically how do you choose? how does a system integrator or a homeowner should go about choosing the brain? Because unlike humans who have only one kind of a brain, there are so many brains out there in the market. So how do an integrator or a homeowner choose that? And what is the top 2 or 3 criteria that he should look for while choosing a brain or a control processor in this case? Ashish, you want to go?
Okay, most of the systems when a manufacturer is making, they're all good systems, they're all well tested. It all depends upon what is the market you are addressing or what is the market you aspire to address. Okay, that's how your product choice has to come as far as the system integrator is concerned. Few more things which I would like to note down here is whatever system you choose, okay, it should have an online support available in terms of you should be able to learn the system yourself without indulging any person. Okay, so if you go to a Crestron website or if you go to a few other Savant website, you don't need anybody to learn the system. You can just go do your online courses. There's enough documentation available so that you can first learn it yourself. If you're stuck at the site, you should be able to troubleshoot yourself. You should be able to resolve the problem yourself. Only then, in my opinion, that is a good system to be taken forward to your project. Okay. Third thing, trainings are very important. If you're choosing a platform and it is not offering you enough training, I think you should avoid that. At any point of the time, the dependency should not be on the manufacturer.
I think the point related to the system integrator is well covered. JP, can you throw some light on the homeowner perspective? So whatever Ashish talked about is like from a system integrator perspective. From a homeowner, what are the main 2 or 3 aspects that he should look for while opting for because most of the cases it is recommended by the integrator, but at the same time, if there are choices available, so how should the homeowner go about it?
Yeah, actually, there's an answer in your question itself. You said today a lot of homeowners are not even aware that they need a brain for the house. And a lot of homeowners, even if they are aware, they are not guided properly. So typically when we meet end customers, we insist on 3 main pillars of the core brain that is there. One is the reliability, something that can last for long. So you build a home that lasts for long. So one is the reliability part. Which is backed up with enough amount of, say, testing and quality control and things like that in place that are there. The second thing is the scalability. Today, you may want to start small and you keep building more and more bigger things and adding more systems and adding more gadgets in your home and adding more things in your home. The brain should be scalable and not just rip and replace this to add this many number of extra lights or this many number of extra devices in your home and things like that. And the third most important thing quite often ignored is the network security or the internet security. Today we are seeing a huge awareness of the internet and network security coming into end customers. Particularly, actually, me or my company addresses the ultra luxury segment that is there. And in that segment, that is the first question that comes: how much is the home dependent on the cloud? So still there are a lot of concerns on taking their data to the cloud and things like that because it's so very personal, privacy and things like that. So all this boils down to internet security as one single thing. It's a very vast topic. I think we can have a separate panel discussion about this.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions in that direction as well. We'll come to that because the moment you talk about processing, sometimes there is a limitation of what you can do locally. And you might be dependent on a cloud, on an AI platform, which is superseding all these local controls. So there is a fine balance that we have to look for, wherein we have to decide what happens on the local network or the local platform and what we should expose to the outside world, right? So we'll come to that. So when you talk about future proofing and stability and scalability, so how should a platform be? I mean, do you see the platforms becoming device agnostic or a particular protocol agnostic? Because we have been hearing about this Matter protocol for quite some time. Any thoughts on that? And when you say I think the true scalability or the true flexibility to the end customer is when he can probably walk into an IKEA store, he likes a lamp, he just buys it, and it should get plugged into his existing system, right? So that is the dream of any homeowner, wherein he's not picking and choosing items that he like based on what automation system he has chosen. So what are your thoughts on that? Dhanraj, you want to start with?
I would like to go one step behind what you just asked. Of course, all of us do realize that interoperability between products, interoperability between platforms, this is extremely important. I want to give you an example that I recently encountered, and this is something that all of us have to keep in mind, is that when homeowners or space owners come saying that they want something, I've realized very often they say that, okay, we want brand A, brand B, brand C, and they start naming brands. One, as a professional on board for that particular scenario, I would say that it is very important that we are able to guide them that all these three brands are able to interoperate. But even before that, one thing we stress a lot on is to be able to understand that what is it that you want in the first place as a homeowner. Do you want X number of devices to work together? Do you want an X amount of ecosystem? Do you want an X ambience? What is it that you want? Once we are able to gather what they want, it is then that we should put it into, okay, these are the hardware, this is the back end, this is the front end that is required. This is what is interoperable. I really liked a point that JP said about scalability, that eventually if this is the hardware that we are suggesting as system integrators, then it should be scalable. Of course, reliability is the number one thing. Many times I get a requirement from clients where they say that, okay, all this is done, but I want to use Tuya and I want to use Lutron Ratu. Now this is what I have found between these two. Can you tell us? I tell those clients very clearly that you don't tell me what hardware to use, right? I mean, your agreement so vehemently, so I'm saying, you don't tell me what hardware to use. Tell me what your requirement is. We'll figure what needs to be done. We have to take care of privacy issues, as you mentioned. We need to take care of scalability. We need to mention that eventually when you bring in more devices, because most clients are also scaling their infrastructure, then they want their office connected, they want their second house connected, they also want another house in the same multi-story tower, they want to increase their square footage. So all this, if needs to be covered, interoperability is very important, what you touched on. Sorry, I digressed a bit, but I think it was a very important session that we wanted to include in this conversation. With regards to now specifics, Matter, I believe, yes, Matter is something that is resolving this problem at a large level of interoperability, but it's still not there. I don't think that there is any, I don't know, please esteemed panelists, you all can suggest, but I don't think that there is anything right now which can very boldly say that, yes, we are covering all hardware, we are covering all platforms, we are operating seamlessly between everything. I mean, these are just my thoughts, of course, with my experiences.
Sure, thank you very much. You want to add something, Ashish?
See, the thing is, this has become very complicated now because, see, we as automation companies or we as integrators, we are very dependent on the third-party devices, whatever they are creating. Now, if you look at the television display companies, for example, everybody is coming up with their own protocol. They are trying to do their own thing, Like Samsung is trying to connect their air conditioner with the TV, with the refrigerator, through the smart things, okay? Which apparently supports Matter, okay? If you look at Siemens and Miele and Bosch, they have also created their own system which also talks to the Matter. So now what has happened, Ganesh, here is, now there is a clear divide. The divide is between the consumer products and the installation products. The consumer products, for them, it is very easy to adopt a technology like Matter and integrate with it. It's very simple for them. For the install products like custom electronics, what we do, our manufacturers don't find any juice there. Because then if they start doing that, then their own development will go for a toss. And everybody is aspiring to do a lot more, they have their own roadmap on how to make their offering better. So this will continue for a very long time unless Matter comes down 2 levels down and they go and tell Crestron or other products of the world that, look, this is the kind of interoperability we will provide in a very simple way, okay? Having said that, if you are talking about Matter or any other platform, then you are compromising on the privacy issue.
Correct.
So it's little complicated today, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think very well put, because I think that divide between the consumer products to the installed products is the key of understanding, saying that which technology to adapt and which technology to keep it open. It's like, I mean, that's what they're called, right? You open a bridge, a Matter bridge, and keep it ready, saying that tomorrow you get another device or something like that. We are ready. So we are future-proofing the hardware that we are giving it to you. So is that the direction, anything that Crestron is also thinking about, to have some kind of a opening wherein people can bring in their own Matter devices and integrate with the Crestron ecosystem? Is that something that company is thinking about?
Actually, if you see, I've been in this industry about like 2 decades now. When I started this, that's what we have been doing, interoperability, making 2 devices that don't talk to each other, make them talk to each other. So actually, if you ask me, has this been there? It has already been there for last 2 decades, but nothing has been formalized and said, this is the way that you need to talk to each other. So every device has its own APIs, its own SDKs and protocols and things like that. That's where the topic really comes handy, is the brain of the home. So when you choose the right brain of the home, it can actually bring everything together, right? But can there be a standard? Again, that can be a discussion separately. It is very difficult in current scenario because of the huge, the market size that is there, the number of brands that are there, and the number of market segments that they address. It is very difficult to unify all this as one single thing, as a Matter or a Zigbee or a Z-Wave or whatever we could call it, because there are so many different categories of products, different market verticals that they address, different price points that they hold, right? So even a product price matters, whether you can adopt this technology or you cannot adopt this technology and things like that. So if you're having a powerful brain, yeah, all this can bring all these things together and make things talk to each other. It is just the budget and what functionality you want to achieve.
Sure. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So what you're talking about. So yeah, that comes to an interesting topic, which is the AI part and the machine learning part that we're talking about. So traditionally, one of the hesitation with most of the homeowners is that how easy it is the system to use, how adaptable it is to use, and so should you understand a home automation system, or the home automation system understands you? So that is, I think, again, I think very simply put, that is the way to look forward. So do you see home automation systems understanding the user as we go forward? And with the AI becoming more handy and more accessible, more easy to incorporate into the systems, do you see that happening, Ashish?
I would say that's a very dangerous precedence in a residential market, if you really ask me, because we have been dealing with premium products and premium projects, and the user gets very concerned with any kind of interference in their personal and private space. These are homes which are run not by the homeowners but by the domestic helps. Okay? I would say a neo-urban family, nuclear family, it will make a lot of sense for them because they're looking for gadgets, new technologies. So the larger market, I think AI adoption will be much faster. A. B. There they will allow the system to learn their things because that makes their life much simpler. Okay, because somebody going for office in the morning and coming back in the evening, if the system can understand that really well, okay, then it's a big advantage, it's a big plus for their lifestyle. And I think that's where the larger adoption will get into the picture. And what I really feel is the overall adoption of automation system will grow once something like this happens. So, I mean, most of the brands are already talking about AI. We have seen a lot of them in the last few events, and I think that's a very positive direction for the larger market, because I think that's how we will penetrate even even more. Because today, a lot of clients are scared of automation. There are horror stories which are moving in the market. Their friends will tell, don't put a dimming system, put a knob to, to reduce the intensity of the light. So all those things, stories are still floating into the market. So I think if it becomes simpler, it will be a 1+. So AI is the way forward, for sure.
Yes, and that opens up another box, which is the local to the cloud processing. So some of the concerns that you addressed about, if the data is locally stored and if it's able to process it locally, I think some of those privacy concerns of the high-end clientele also will come down.
No, but you cannot do AI without a cloud, at least as of today. Unless the system evolves itself and learns completely everything, then I can have a perpetual system without connecting to internet, I can deliver it. Today, I mean, forget about AI, the Siri and the Alexa and the Google cannot work without an internet connection. So it's very difficult, in my opinion, to do it without the cloud interference today. However, if you look at a lot of manufacturers, like Savan, for example, they have a private cloud. It's hosted on Microsoft Azure. There is a separate ID created for each user. They charge for it, but then they are ensuring 100% privacy. You own that piece of cloud yourself, so it cannot be exposed. So if that kind of confidence can go in, then obviously it resolves a lot of concerns. Having said that, cloud is the way forward,
JP, your thoughts on the local processing to a cloud processing? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, actually, these are multiple different topics. One is AI and where AI is used. In the context of the title of today, the brains of the home, AI is still not ready. Actually, that's what maybe our internal team or even the generic market is not ready. Second, integrating AI-based devices into the brain, right? Like your smart speakers and things like that. It is not there in the ultra luxury segment. I can tell my largest projects that I've closed in the last 2 decades, their internal IT team don't allow any of their customers to use a smart speaker in their home because it is a known vulnerability that someone can listen to your bedroom conversations. And there are a lot of risks associated with that as well. I visited one of the partner showroom where he had integrated his door lock with a smart speaker, and you tell the smart speaker to open the door, it opens the door for you. It's a convenience. I need not walk up to the door to open the door, but someone talks through your window and asks the smart speaker to open your door, it opens the door without the key.
Yeah, right? But aren't we already vulnerable by having smartphones in your hand?
No,
and how sure are we that these phones are not listening at this point of time already, the conversation?
This is still more dangerous, right? Even your smartphone today, you can lock that. There are a lot of ways to secure your smartphone as well. But if you're having a smart speaker and the scenario that I told, to unlock the door, someone can talk through a window to open your door lock. Right? So integration today has to be really thought by partners, particularly the awareness about AI and how you're utilizing AI, where you want to apply AI. Of course, AI is really strong in certain cases like surveillance and these kind of things, identifying people movement, camera technology. It's really very, very powerful. And there it makes a lot of sense. But when touching the brain, still, I think we aren't ready for it.
Thanks. Right. So I will ask one last question for all three of you. So yeah. So if you have one piece of advice for someone choosing their first smart home experience, right? Again, in terms of choosing the brain, I just wanted to give one piece of advice each. For the homeowner, not the integrator.
I mean, I did specify this earlier, and I'm glad that you saved it for the end because this should be our takeaway question. As a homeowner, the first thing that you need to do when you're getting your home done and you want automation in any form or fashion, you want a smart home, you want an intelligent infrastructure, number one is you need to get a professional on board. Number one thing is that. A lot of homeowners I see are trying to buy things off the internet. They're trying to buy things off available websites, e-commerce, and then connect it by themselves and then calling it a failed smart home. So I think the number one advice I would like to give homeowners is that just as you hand over MEP to a professional, you hand over design to an interior designer, you hand over architecture to an architect, you need to hand over your smart requirements, your intelligent home requirements, your automation requirements to a professional system integrator. That is number one. I'm sure that the rest of it will be covered, but that is my number one advice.
Very well said, Dhanraj. I think most of us sitting here will agree with that because most of the people here are system integrators, and we understand the pains of the fellow system integrators where especially the owners, the homeowners try to bring in their own small pieces of information that they have gathered. And the AIs and the chat GPTs are actually enabling all this things. They're making things easier for them. They just Google it. Previously it was Google, now they do a chat GPT or a Perplexity and ask for advice. Yeah, so.
In fact, there's one thing I'd like to add, Ganesh, is that I have this experience all the time where a homeowner will come and then there is a Savant or there is a Lutron or there is a Crestron or there's a Control 4, and the question they will ask me is, what are the features? And I always tell them that please don't ask us what are the features, you tell us what you need. And then we will interpret that to the relevant platform, the relevant system and the relevant programming that needs to be done at the back end.
So thank you. Ashish, one piece of advice from you.
See, one piece is very difficult, but I'll try and, make it as crisp and brief. Most of the automation projects fail because there is a gap of expectation. If you can set your expectations clear, what you need out of the system, your 90% problem is solved because your system integrator knows what you need. Okay? He will design the system as per that. And just to adding to that, it is much better find out a few hours from your busy life and go and spend time in an experience center, knowing the system in and out completely, what are its capabilities. Maybe you will be able to juice out a few more things out of it, more than what you were expecting, and then you exactly know what is going to be delivered. So for me, one piece of advice is a clear scope of work. If that is clear, you are done.
On a lighter note, I had a customer, after the entire installation, he's like, I walk into my bedroom and I don't see any light turning on. What kind of automation have you done? I was like, why do you want a light turn on? He's like, I thought you will give me some system wherein I walk into my bedroom and everything is set. It's like, sir, and I take your point, what you're talking about. Understanding, the customer especially, understanding what exactly he wants and leaving it to a professional to decide it, and also spend some time on it, visiting multiple experience centers, talking to different people, but have your checklist or the things that you want ready.
See, because what people don't realize that automation is becoming a part of your life. For years together, they have been switching on lights with the switches. That is part of their life which they don't, it's in your unconscious mind all the time. Okay. Otherwise, things like those things will happen, where one of my friends, I did his house and he said, my mom should be able to use her phone in Gujarati from Alexa. I said, how is that possible? So it's just gap of expectations most of the time,
JP, one advice from you.
Yeah, actually, I reiterate the earlier conversation. Actually, when you're choosing the brain of the home, which is your question, as an end user, what should you consider? Is again the same three things. Choose a brain which is reliable, choose a brain which is scalable, choose a brain which is secure by design. So these three pillars are really very important, and all the other subsets are a part of these three pillars that are there. A reliable, scalable and a secure system is always going to be the best brain for the house.
I think, I think wonderfully put. I think it covers most of the things that a homeowner should look for. As you rightly said, everything else is in detail, as in like, you want a metal keypad, you want a touch keypad, you want a voice control, all those things will follow once you have the right integrator who is also acting like a consultant, like an advisor. In many cases wherein, as you said, the end customer is not entirely aware of the technologies behind it. As you said, leave it to a professional. And yeah, do spend some time, the homeowners, in visiting places with an open mind. many times we see that customers walk in with a closed mind saying that I saw something, I think wireless is the best, wired is the best. I think they should, it's as you said, it's a right investment, right? It's not just the money that they're investing their time, and they're building a dream home which is going to stay with them for the next 10, 15, 20 years. So I think that taking out time is another very important thing that the customer should do. And of course, I mean, doing all these things right, but not choosing the right brain for making this work, which is not reliable, which is not secure, or which is not future-proof, I mean, you might give a 10-year warranty, but it's no use if somebody is coming into your house every other day to fix a problem. So you don't want that to happen. Yeah, thank you very much, panelists. I think I'll bring this panel discussion to an end. Thank you, Dhanraj. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you, JP, for your wonderful pieces of advice. And I hope it was an engaging conversation for all of you. Thank you very much. Thanks.
It indeed was. And please be here with us for a lovely photo op. No, you can rise and have a photo op. Meanwhile, we'd like to felicitate you all. The lovely sharing you gave about your personal experiences really made all of us smile. And at the same time, we're truly looking forward to, well, friends, ladies and gentlemen, to smart home technology and home automation, the lighting technologies, and truly the solutions that they've given us, what truly is the need of the hour, and what can we expect in the future. To do the honors, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our conference head, Smart Home Expo, Nazim Sawant, to kindly present mementos to all our distinguished panelists, and the moderator for this session, Ganesh Vudutha. Thank you so much. Thank you to Dhanraj, Sheth, Ashish, Tijare, Jayaprakash, Chinnamuthu for this very brilliant panel on brains of the home, choosing the right automation platform. Ladies and gentlemen, feel free to put your hands together for such fabulous insights being shared. Very much to each and every one of you. I'm going to request Nazim sir to please join them for a lovely group photo op. All of you together. All of you all together for a lovely photo op, please. Nazim sir, please join them. Thank you. Thank you once again, friends, ladies and gentlemen. The first panel discussion of the year 2026 at Smart Home Expo. And I'm sure you've started imagining, just the way I've started imagining, how to really light up my space and use the right technology and automation. Thank you so much once again.